Ray from Love Your RV and Boat. In this video, we're going to continue on with the installation of a Renogy off-grid power system into my Keystone Cougar fifth wheel here. And we'll be working right down here in the front in the storage compartment here is where I'm going to install the system. In the last video, I kind of went through the components I was going to be installing. There's a brand new Renogy battery here, and a Renogy inverter that they sent out as review samples. I purchased myself a Renogy solar controller for this project, and I already had a DC to DC battery charger that I purchased about 5 or 6 years ago. I've been using ever since. And I've also got a 400 watt Renogy folding solar panel. So that'll be the Renogy components that'll be installed, and I also have a converter charger to IntelliPower, so that will provide shore power charging to the system. Just going to give you a quick look at a block diagram that I put together so you can better understand what I'm doing. So there's the 400 watt solar panels. They will go into a 40 amp solar charger. The alternator on the truck will power a 40 amp DC to DC charger. Plug-in shore power or generator power via AC will go through this converter charger. It's a 60 amp, and they all flow into a bus bar, and then they'll go into a 240 amp hour battery, and then out of the battery they'll power a 2000 watt inverter. That will the output of that will go to an auto transfer switch. I have a GoPower auto transfer switch in my RV, so when we're on shore power, it automatically switches to shore power. When we unplug that, it automatically switches the inverter power to power the AC outlets in the rig. And then there's also a feed that will go to the DC 12 volt DC circuits in the rig. So that kind of gives you a block diagram of what I'm going to be doing. So let's get into the front storage bay and start installing this equipment. Okay, so I've cleared off my old power system out of here so we can start fresh for you and just explain what's left in here. This is the original Keystone Cougar OEM power system. Up here is all kinds of wireless stuff, awnings and jacks and slides, that sort of thing. And then down here we have some of the original fusing. This is where the OEM battery attached right here, and then it would go to ground to the frame. And there's a couple, I think they're 30 or 40 amp auto reset fuses that are there. That'll connect to my system just for the DC power feeds that go into the RV to run water pumps and lights and stuff like that. On this side, at one point I put this receptacle in. It's like a 15 amp receptacle where I can plug a generator or shore power in. And then I have a lead coming in for that, and that'll get attached to my shore power charger. I'm using an IntelliPower charger that it has a boost mode that will switch it to 14.4 volts for charging lithium. It's a nice 60 amp charger, and it matches well to my 2000 watt generator for off-grid charging in case I don't get enough solar. So in this rig, it came with a metal, pretty thick metal belly pan, which is nice. It can take a lot of weight. At one point I had 4 big golf cart batteries in here, so that weighed about 250 pounds, and I didn't have any problems. It's welded nice and everything, so it'll handle the weight of this battery, which is I think around maybe 60 pounds. So no problems there. And then this is the wall that goes in between my front storage compartment and the basement storage for the fifth wheel. And I guess it's probably about a 3/4 inch kind of press board type stuff. And it's nice because I can screw into it and mount things into it very easily. And up to here, it's all is metal. So you can see where I've drilled holes and scraped off down to bare metal, and a lot of times I'll use that for return negative feeds rather than running a wire back. I'll go right to the metal frame here, and then at one point come up to a negative bus bar and to the battery. You'll see all that. And here is the solar that's coming down. There's actually two different solar arrays up there. One is on the front of my RV, and the other is sort of faced to the back. My slope my roof slopes front to back, so I decided to split it into two different arrays. So that's what's coming down there. So I'll be hooking the solar controller into that. This wire here is a feed for my alternator charging. It comes from the truck, and it goes up to a plug that I have on the hitch that I can plug another plug from the truck to the hitch, and that brings the energy from the truck alternator battery system for the DC to DC charger. This wire here that goes through there, that is an AC wire, 30 amp. I just repurposed an old AC cord I had for an RV, and it goes down to my power center in the RV into an auto transfer switch, so that when we unplug from shore power, it auto switches, and then this will be in the inverter, and we will switch automatically to inverter power and vice versa. And then there's one more plug coming in here that goes up also to the front pin box, and from there I can easily connect a ground panel, so that'll get wired into where the solar is coming in. So first things first, I gotta install a battery. I think is the first thing I'm gonna do. Usually I've been installing my batteries about here. I found it's a good place, and the inverter right above it, really close to the battery, because it's going to need pretty heavy leads, and you want really short distance between your battery and your inverter, because when the inverters say pulling 1500 watts or so, you can pull 125, 135 amps, so it can be a lot of voltage drop if you have very long wires, so best to keep them short. So the inverter will go there. Over here will be the DC-DC charger, then I'm going to have the solar charge controller, and then the charge converter for shore power. And then there's going to be all sorts of safety devices like breakers and fuses. And I do have a couple nice bus bars that'll be able to connect everything together nicely. Anyway, first thing is to put the battery in. So this is metal, but what I use on top of that, I just use some carpeting that has underlay, a little bit of foam protection for the stuff that's in there. And then I the battery will get screwed right down to this pan so it can't move. The Renogy battery came with some nice L brackets that fit perfectly on the battery, so we'll do that first and get the battery mounted. Okay, so I've been figuring things out slowly here, trying to figure out the best situation for my wiring flow, try to keep things tidy and keep the conductors short. Decided to put the battery right here, so I've used the L brackets and used some 3/8 inch Tech screws to go through that metal there on 4 points, and that is really strong in there. Probably could have the camper flip upside down and the battery would still stay in place. Here I decided I wanted to get a fuse right on the terminal here, so I've got a T-class fuse right there, 300 amps. It's kind of like a catastrophic fuse in case anything shorts out anywhere else. That would be the last line of defense. It goes up to this bus bar here. It's a 300 amp bus bar, and from there I'm going to have a terminal fuse with a 250 amp fuse that will go to the on-off switch for the inverter, just so if I ever want to work on stuff I can quickly turn it off. And then that just goes up to the lug there. It's going to get mounted. It's a little box. It's going to get mounted right there. Anyway, I also discovered I had some 4/0 cabling for coming off the battery, and I wanted to cut the length down and put lugs on, but I found out that my hydraulic crimper can't handle that big of a lug, so I think I'm going to order myself a crimper that can handle that size of lug. I'll be able to put that together in a future video. Basically, I'm going to get everything roughed in with the conductors I have. These are still 2/0 conductors, which is plenty good enough for a 2000 watt inverter. Anyway, I'll continue on. I want to get this heavy cabling done first, and then it'll move over to this side. And I'm going to put my, decided to put my converter charger there, solar charger, and DC to DC charger. Wanted the inverter facing this way because I have a certain cut length of transmission wire here, and has to fit into that, be hardwired into there. So flipping it around was not really an option unless I wanted to add on. I think this will work out good. Slowly getting things roughed in here. I have my chargers mounted and starting to get some of the fusing together. Keep in mind this is just my kind of rough draft. I want to get everything working and I can see how I can improve it, any changes I want to make. But basically we got the battery here. We got a fuse right there connected right to the battery, and it goes up to the bus bar. There's an inverter fuse here and an on-off switch for the inverter there. Hiding over here we have an 80 amp breaker, and that's just so I can turn the power to the RV circuits on and off. It's connected down there where the original OEM fusing is. And then here's my charger breakers. It's just nice to be able to switch each one of them off. But I've also got some terminal fuses on the bus bar. Each of these right now are 150 amps. I'll figure out the best amperage and wiring sizes as I go. Just sort of rough draft. Anyway, all I got left to do is run the charging positive wires, and then each of the negative wires will come down to the frame and connect straight to the frame. And I don't have a lot of extra wiring having to come back to the bus bar there. This is the negative bus bar. And it goes straight down to the frame. And also there's one lead going to the inverter, and then I got one lead going to the battery I haven't connected up yet. So next job, connect up those chargers. I've already connected the positive and negative input coming from the input that'll be coming from the truck. I'll show you that later. And also I've got the trigger wire connected up on the DC to DC charger. Okay, all the roughed in wiring is complete. I'm just making sure everything is in working order. Got the battery on and I connected to my RV loads. Everything's working good there. Just turned on the inverter. It's working fine. And connected up the solar charge controller and the panels on the roof, flicked them on. And you can see in here, things are looking good. You can see the battery reporting input and output, solar charge controller reporting input and output. So my battery was actually fully charged, so I'm just going to let it run down a little bit. I'll turn the heater on to max here. There we go. That should pump up the amperage there. 139 amps. Putting out 1780 watts. Hear the fan come on. Let that run for about 15 or 20 minutes and bring the battery down a bit. Then we'll test the shore power charger and the alternator charger. So I've hooked up to the truck and turned it on and turned my alternator feed on. So DC to DC charger's powered on. You can see the green light there. Just check the amperage on that line. There we go. 39.7 amps. So that's working. Next we'll test the IntelliPower charger. Okay, it's plugged it into shore power, and we can see she's putting out around 60 amps there. There's a little bit coming in from the solar charger. Definitely working. Let's put my clamp on it. Yeah, 58.6, 60 amp charger, so that's working good too. Awesome. Well, there you go. That's enough for today. Took about a full day of tinkering around. A lot of it is spent thinking, deciding how I'm going to do things, but I got a lot of wiring to tidy up, change a few things, get some more parts so I can change the wiring, improve it. But overall, that's going to be the way the system is installed and functioning. So in the next video, after I've tidied everything up, I'll come back and we'll kind of do a detailed walkthrough of everything, including all the solar panel feeds, stuff like that, how I have the DC to DC charger system wired into my truck. So any other questions, just leave them in the comments. Till next time, Ray from Love You RV and Boat. Cheers, guys.